This AI trading tool has a 100% hit rate. Here's how much I made in 24 hours. Now look, down below there are chapters so you can fast forward to the sections that you want to help you navigate the video easier. Also, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Please do your own research before moving in on the crypto and Web3 space. Now to cut straight to the chase, this is TradeWiz, one of the best copy trading bots around. Now they've got a phone application which has AI trade. And what it does is it takes a list of smart wallets that it's identified, and then when multiple wallets buy into a token over a certain time frame, it will execute a trade. Now this means that you don't need to go find wallets. You don't have to worry about following a singular bad trader. It's almost like an aggregate of smart traders that actually executes a trade on your behalf. Now to the good stuff, the results. Although I did the test over a 24-hour period, I only had it active when I was at the computer, and I'll touch on this later on. I put in 1 SOL into the wallet and set the buys at 0.2 SOL, and I ended the challenge with 1.4 SOL, so I'm up 40% on my initial balance. I did exit each trade within 30 seconds, and of the 10 trades that it executed, they all resulted in a profit, and like I said, I was in them for less than 30 seconds each. Now the profits could have been much higher. When you have a look at this, a lot of the tokens ran up 5x, just crazy numbers, and when I actually look back on these charts, I look like I'm just straight paper handing these trades. Now, to be honest, I was very aggressive with my exits to these coins because when I'm making these videos, I'm very much risk averse. I want to get a result so I can end up putting the video together. So in this, I wanted to exit the coins as quickly as possible in a profit to then make the video as fast as possible, just so I'm not sitting around. So yeah, keep that in mind. But as you can see here, every single trade resulted in a profit. Even though some of them are small profits, every single trade, which is quite shocking. Now, a quick side note, and we'll touch on this shortly, I paused anytime I was away from the computer. So the 10 trades happened when I was sitting down, locked in on the computer doing some work, so I could actually exit the trades. This wasn't the full 24 hours worth of trading because I wasn't awake for 24 hours. I wasn't locked in for 24 hours. So here are some things that you need to know before starting. You need to be locked in because when the trade executes, if you haven't set up a stop loss or a take profit, you're going to lose because there aren't any sell triggers that it's looking for. You're essentially just buying a token blind and letting it run. And if you don't know that it's bought and you don't sell, it's eventually going to go to zero. And I know this firsthand because when I started to test it, I let the buys happen, but my take profit was way too ambitious and my stop loss was way too loose. And while I did get some wins, I ended up bleeding out my stack using this method. So being in control of the exit, watching the chart just made me feel comfortable, and that's why I adopted that when I ran back through this again. Now, while in an essence this is copy trading, I like to think about it more like copy entering, and this gives you a chance to look at the token, do your due diligence while you're in it, and then deciding your exit. I like to think about it like someone goes, hey, buy this token, or you see something pop up, you just blindly buy, and then you start to do your own due diligence afterwards. That's the way that I like to think about it. So how can you give this a go? I've got a link to them down below. If you click that, it'll take you through to their web app. This will let you link your Telegram account to it. You can then download the iOS or Android app and then log in with Telegram, and then you can fund the wallet. And so this means that everything is just backed up there. Now in the AI trade section down here, you hit custom, then you hit signal timeframe. Now I hit all, and that works for me. You can play around with them if you wanted to. The single buy amount, that is how much you're putting into each trade. And trade limit, this is how many coins it will buy or how many trades it will execute. And then you have your settings. I just leave these as is. And then you've got auto sell, which is your take profit and stop loss orders. If you're not going to be sitting there locked in, I'd highly recommend putting in some stop loss and take profits so you don't lose your bag. So something I also want to touch on with the size is I never did multiple trades, like 2 trades at the same time. The way it was triggering was almost triggering one after the other. It would trigger one, then 10, 15 minutes, an hour later, it would trigger the next one. So you don't need to put in 1 SOL to then trade a 0.25. You don't need to put in 10 SOL to trade a 1 SOL. You could put in 1 SOL and trade 0.5, 0.7, 0.8, trade the whole stack. You could do that if you really wanted to, because the trades almost go one by one because they're not kind of in parallel running at the same time. So that means you can actually put in less and actually get more out of it. So that's a look at TradeWiz's AI trade. If you enjoyed this video, go down there, drop some love. I'd very much appreciate it. I had a pleasure making this video. Hopefully you enjoyed watching it, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.